What would you do if a small boy grabbed your hand, forced a phone into your palm, and whispered, "Sir, don't ask my name, just save her before they find us"? Miles Hart, the CEO everyone thought was untouchable, stopped in the middle of his company's private lobby when he saw the girl in the boy's arms, too still, too heavy for someone that small to carry. The boy's voice shook, but his eyes were sharp, like he had already learned what fear looks like on adults. "She keeps fading," he said. "And a lady is coming. She smiles, but she takes kids." Miles didn't waste time with speeches. He called emergency services, told security to lock the front doors, and took them straight to the nearest hospital himself. The staff moved fast, and the boy stayed close, refusing to let go of the girl's hand. When a nurse asked, "Where are her parents?" the boy answered, "Not safe," and looked at Miles like he was begging him not to hand them over to the wrong person. Minutes later, the first twist hit. A woman walked into the ER with perfect hair, a calm face, and a badge that said Child Services. She spoke like she owned the room. "I'm here for the children," she said, reaching for the girl's chart. The boy's body went rigid. "That's her," he whispered. Miles stepped between them. "Show me your ID," he said. The woman's smile didn't move, but her fingers tightened. "Sir, don't make this difficult. The boy is a runaway." Miles stared at the badge, then at the woman's shoes, clean, no hurry, no sweat, like she hadn't been running to save anyone's life. He asked for her supervisor's number. She gave one instantly. Miles dialed it and put it on speaker. A recorded message answered, then cut off. The woman tried to grab the file anyway. Miles signaled the hospital guard and said, "Call real authorities. Now." The woman's mask slipped for half a second, anger flashed, then she tried to pivot, sweet again. "You're being misled. The boy is trained to lie." Miles looked down at the boy and said quietly, "Tell me the truth. One truth. Right now." The boy swallowed hard. "She's not my sister," he admitted. "But she's mine to protect. I pulled her out of a locked car behind a fancy event. I heard her crying. There was a note. And it had your name." Miles froze, because his name was on that event, his foundation, his guests, his cameras, his responsibility. Miles demanded the note. The boy slid it out from inside his sock like he'd been hiding a weapon. It wasn't a child's messy writing. It was typed, clean, and cruel: "Deliver the child to the woman with the badge. If anyone interferes, the boy disappears." Under that line was a code, 8 numbers, followed by 2 letters. Miles knew those letters. They were the internal shortcut for his foundation's VIP back entrance, a code only senior staff used. His stomach turned cold, not from weather, but from betrayal. He called his assistant, Carla, and ordered her to pull the security footage from the foundation event immediately. Carla answered too quickly, "Of course," then added, "Sir, maybe you shouldn't get involved. This could be a PR trap." That sentence landed like a slap, because it sounded rehearsed, like she had been waiting for this call. At the hospital, the fake caseworker's voice rose as she argued with staff, and the boy suddenly said, "She's stalling. Someone else is coming." Miles didn't argue with instinct that sharp. He asked the ER doctor to keep the girl in a secured area and told the boy, "Stay with me." Then he did something most CEOs never do: he called the police and insisted on meeting the detective himself, not through lawyers. When Detective Alvarez arrived, Miles handed over the note and said, "Verify if this badge is real." Within minutes, Alvarez confirmed it wasn't. The woman tried to leave, but security stopped her at the doors. She laughed, low and bitter, and said, "You think you're saving them? You don't even know who you're saving." Then the second twist punched harder. The girl's wrist had a thin hospital band already on it, faded, half torn, like she had been inside a clinic before. Alvarez checked the number, made a call, and his face changed. "This band matches a private medical facility," he said. "Not a hospital. A place that doesn't report properly." Miles looked at the boy. "How did you find her?" The boy's voice cracked. "I was looking for food behind the event hall. I heard a sound, and I saw her in the back seat. The windows were foggy. I couldn't open the door, so I broke something with a rock. Miles didn't ask what he broke. He understood the point. The boy had done what adults failed to do: act. Then the third twist arrived like poison. Carla texted Miles, "Footage is corrupted. Cameras glitched. Nothing usable." Miles stared at the message, and suddenly the pieces formed a picture he didn't want to see. The code on the note, the glitched cameras, the fast fake worker, the warning about PR, someone close was cleaning the trail. Miles leaned toward Detective Alvarez and said, "I want you to watch my staff. Start with Carla." Alvarez raised an eyebrow. "That's a serious claim." Miles replied, "So is a child left in a locked car behind my event." The final stretch became a trap set inside a rescue. Miles asked Alvarez for 1 hour. He returned to his office and pretended he believed Carla's camera glitch. He called her in, acted calm, and said, "We'll handle this quietly. Bring me the guest list and the donor records." Carla's shoulders eased. Too much. Then she made a mistake. She named a donor Miles never mentioned, and she called him by a nickname only insiders used in private security briefings. Miles kept his face still and said, "Send me the access logs too." While Carla left to prepare, Miles had IT pull foundation door logs. One entry matched the notes code, used the night of the event, but the user ID was masked. Alvarez brought a cyber unit, and within minutes they traced the masked ID back to Carla's credentials, routed through a burner device hidden in a supply closet. When confronted, Carla tried to cry, tried to bargain, then finally hissed the truth: the fake caseworker wasn't alone. There was a small network that used charity events to spot unattended kids, especially those from unstable homes, then moved them through private clinics that asked no questions. "It wasn't supposed to be your event," Carla snapped. "It was supposed to be easy." Miles felt sick, but he didn't let her see him break. He signed an emergency protection request for the girl and arranged secure care through a verified child advocate, not anyone who showed a badge. Then Alvarez uncovered the twist that changed everything for Miles. The girl's name, hidden in a delayed medical intake file, matched the surname of Miles's estranged sister, the sister who disappeared years ago after warning him that powerful people used good causes as masks. The girl wasn't random. She was family. And the boy who saved her wasn't a scammer, he was the only reason she was alive. In court, Miles didn't sell a hero story. He told the judge, "This child was targeted because of my world. I will keep her protected. And the boy who rescued her will not be punished for doing what adults refuse to do." The judge ordered temporary guardianship under strict monitoring, and Alvarez's team arrested the fake worker and 2 more people connected to the clinic. The boy finally asked Miles, almost scared to hope, "So, she'll be safe?" Miles answered, "Yes. And so will you." He set up a legal advocate for the boy, ensured he had stable schooling and a safe home placement that kept him connected, and he promised something he could not undo: no one will ever tell you again that your life doesn't matter. When the girl opened her eyes days later, she squeezed the boy's finger first, as if she knew who her real protector was. Miles watched that moment and understood the real ending wasn't adoption papers or headlines, it was a child learning he didn't have to fight alone anymore. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe, because the next child might only have one brave stranger to save them.